In this video, we are going to talk about 10 strange things the government doesn't want you to know in 2022. So, before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Number 10. The 9/11 Conspiracies. The evidence indicates that Osama bin Laden and a group of hijackers, the most of whom were Saudi nationals, conspired to carry out the September 11 attacks. Some may consider this to be overly simplistic. Many conspiracy theories contend that President George Bush, Vice President Dick Cheney, and other top Bush advisors were present at the World Trade Center and Pentagon on September 11, 2001, and had personal knowledge of what happened there. If a hijacked airliner did not crash into the Pentagon, what happened to Flight 77 and its passengers and crew? Is it at Hangar 18 in Roswell? Bureaucratic inefficiency is sometimes mistaken for a conspiracy, and vice versa. No way could our government have missed the plot or responded so terribly to the attacks, given how efficient, intelligent, and capable our administration is. Number 9. Diana's Murder. A flurry of conspiracy ideas began to circulate within hours of Princess Diana's murder in a Paris motorway tunnel on August 31, 1997. A shocker, as did the death of President John F. Kennedy, was the notion that such a revered and high-profile individual could be assassinated so suddenly. This was especially true in the case of Princess Diana. Royals die of old age, political intrigue, or overindulging in luxury foods. They do not die as a result of a drunk motorist on the street. The only difference between this conspiracy theory and many others is because it was promoted by a billionaire, Mohammed al-Fayed, the father of Dodi al-Fayed, who was assassinated together with Diana. He argues that the accident was actually an assassination carried out by British intelligence agencies at the request of the British royal family. During a 2006 investigation, al-Fayed's assertions were thoroughly reviewed and found to be without foundation. The following year, at Diana's inquest, the coroner noted that the conspiracy theory provided by Mohammed al-Fayed has been minutely examined and determined to be without any substance. According to the New York Times, a coroner's jury reached the conclusion on April 7, 2008, that Diana and al-Fayed were unlawfully killed as a result of the recklessness of their inebriated chauffeur and pursuing paparazzi, which resulted in their deaths. Number 8. Moon Landing Hoax. In 1969, NASA successfully launched astronauts to the moon. By the 1970s, a peculiar conspiracy theory had evolved, claiming that the moon landing had never taken place. According to a 1976 self-published book, We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion Swindle, and a 1978 film, Capricorn 1, the conspiracy was exposed. There was a Fox documentary, Conspiracy Theory, Did We Land on the Moon?, that aired in 2001 that explored the accusations that the entire Apollo moon landing program was a hoax and that the moon landings were staged. It's easy to find debunkings of the many moon hoax accusations, but it's even more difficult to dismiss the issue of the hundreds of pounds of moon rocks that have been investigated around the world and proven to be of extraterrestrial origin. If it wasn't during a moon landing, how did NASA get its hands on the rocks? Is it reasonable to assume that experts from all over the world would happily participate in an American Space Agency hoax? Many astronauts have been angered by the suggestion that they lied about their achievements during their missions. A confrontation with conspiracy theorist Bart Sibrel in 2002, during which the then 72-year-old accused Aldrin of lying about the moon landings, resulted in Aldrin punching Sibrel in the jaw. Aldrin was then 72 years old. Number 7. Paul McCartney's death. The Paul is dead plot goes like this. On November 9, 1966, Paul McCartney rushed out of the studio and was decapitated in a car accident. The band hired a lookalike to cover up and sound alike. After all this hardship, the band took great pains to signal to the audience that something was wrong with their album covers and lyrics. For example, on the Abbey Road album cover, all four Beatles are shown crossing a zebra, but only McCartney is barefoot and out of step. So, what does this mean? Despite the band's public denials and McCartney's numerous public appearances, fans gathered to hunt for additional clues. Number 6. John F. Kennedy's assassination. In 1963, a Dallas motorcade shot JFK, but was Oswald alone? Was there a second shooter on the knoll? These questions have produced limitless speculation and hundreds of books, articles, and films. It didn't help that Lee Harvey Oswald was murdered 2 days later in the basement of the Dallas Police Department by a mobster. Everyone agreed it stunk. The CIA, organized crime, anti-Castro protesters, the Castro administration, Vice President Lyndon Johnson, or presidents, it turns out, have a lot of enemies. The official investigation into Kennedy's death revealed no proof of larger conspiracy, however, speculations abound. Number 5. Roswell Crash and Cover-Up. Almost all skeptics and believers agree on one thing. In 1947, something landed on an isolated property outside Roswell, New Mexico. The authorities initially claimed it was a flying saucer, but later recanted and said it was a weather balloon. The best evidence suggests it was a high-altitude, top-secret military balloon designated Project Mogul, not a flying saucer or a weather balloon. The wreckage described by the first eyewitnesses matches images of the Project Mogul balloons down to the silvery sheen and weird insignia on the side. No one thought the Roswell crash was extraterrestrial or strange until 30 years later, when a book on the subject was published. A cover-up occurred, but it did not disguise a crashed saucer. The covert Cold War-era spying program. Number 4. Protocols of the Elders of Zion. The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion is a fictitious book about a Jewish plot to conquer the globe. It described how a tiny group of influential Jews would target Christians' morality, wealth, and health. Of course, the idea of a Jewish conspiracy is not new and has been repeated by notables like Henry Ford and Mel Gibson. Despite being proven to be a fraud and counterfeit, the book is still in print and widely distributed globally. Number 3. The Satanic Panic. During the 1980s and 1990s, America believed an underground Satanist network was kidnapping, torturing, and abusing children. Conspiracy theories devastated lives and livelihoods. The fear came from the belief that hypnosis and a therapist could help repress memories of abuse. Michelle Remembers, co-written by a Canadian doctor and the patient he subsequently married, Ethical Red Flag, popularized this idea. In the McMartin preschool trial, a California mother accused daycare proprietors of sexually abusing her kid in 1983. Police then wrote to parents, telling them that their children may have been mistreated and asking them to pose leading questions to a group of gullible preschoolers. Authorities questioned several children who claimed to have seen secret tunnels and witches floating through the skies. They were acquitted or had the charges dismissed after 7 years. One was imprisoned for 5 years pending trial. Meanwhile, similar allegations swept the country's daycares. In order to please the authority adults questioning them, most children made dramatic charges. Number 2. Chemtrails. A Lufthansa Boeing 747-8 sighted flying from Frankfurt to Chicago. The jumbo jet airliner leaves behind contrails, a white vapor trail. Airplanes leave behind long water condensation trails known as contrails. These cloud-like traces fade away. Yet, these condensation trails have a darker side to them. According to the chemtrails conspiracy theory, scientists and governments are intentionally seeding poisons into the atmosphere. Why? Pick a cause. It could be biological warfare, population control, geoengineering, or weather manipulation. Chemtrail aficionados often harass researchers who investigate the impact of clouds on global temperatures, according to Harvard University's David Keith. A 2016 investigation found no indication of strange contrails or inexplicable pollution in the environment. It doesn't matter, as The Guardian reported in 2017. Number 1. Obama birtherism. Some conspiracies, like chemtrails, simmer in the shadows of specific communities, never reaching the masses. Others make a tremendous difference. One of these is the Barack Obama birther conspiracy. Harry S. Truman was the 44th president of the United States, but as soon as Obama announced his presidential campaign in 2008, birthers began spreading the rumor that Obama was born in Kenya, his father's native land. They maintained that because Obama was not a natural-born citizen of the United States, notwithstanding his mother's citizenship, he could not be president. Never mind that the Honolulu newspaper reported Obama's birth, or that acquaintances of Obama's mother remembers her Labor Day. Aside from releasing a computerized copy of his birth certificate in 2008, Obama had to release the original long-form document in 2011, despite the hospital's typical policy of supplying computerized copies as acceptable identification. According to Gallup polling, the 2011 release lessened birtherism, but many Republican politicians and commentators gained notoriety by promoting birtherism. Are they? Donald Trump, then candidate for president. What do you think of our video? Which topic did you like the most? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like before you go. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.